mean, if you had asked me before if I knew how to use AI, I probably have said yes, but
Hi everyone, how are we doing today? If you can hear me, I need to feel the excitement in the house. Give me a thumbs up. If you are here in today's session, let's have a thumbs up. Let's have the reactions coming. Thank you so much, Rahim. We have over 25 people on this call. I need a lot more reactions. All right. You can use different confettis, okay? I need today's session to be as interactive as possible. So let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I need more interactions. I need more interactions. Let's go. All right, welcome, everyone. So, like I mentioned earlier, my name is Treasure Akipo. I am the lead at Analytics Business. And today's session, just like you would have seen on the different flyers or the invitation, is going to be awesome and super packed. And we're going to be teaching you not just your basic skills, but addition of AI. Okay, so AI is the future, AI is now, and basically we want to get you up to speed as much as possible, and that's why we're bringing you into today's session. Okay, so in today's conversation we'll be making use of certain tools like Zapier, ChatGPT, Google Sheets, how to also monetize the skills, and basically how to land a job at the very end. And we're going to have this from the very start to the very finish of today's session. Okay, but before we jump right into the session proper, I would like to know where each and everyone is joining us from. So like I mentioned, my name is Treasure and I am joining from Lagos, Nigeria. I want to know where the whole 32 individuals are also coming in from. So if you don't mind, just put that into the chat, your name and where you're joining us from. Let's get that going. I want to make sure that everybody is very attentive on this call before we kickstart and bring up our wonderful facilitator. Let's go, let's go. I need more responses. Come on, guys. Come on, come on, come on. All right. So I can see Dankat. Dankat is an OG. He has joined every session that we've put out. So Dankat is joining us from Ikoyi, Lagos. Thank you so much for honoring the invitation and joining today. We also have David. David is joining us from Ijaniki, Lagos. Thank you for joining on a Thursday evening. Rahim is joining all the way from Ireland. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Blessing is joining all the way from the UK. We have Ifango Smart. Ifango Smart is joining us from Ondo, Nigeria. We also have Basi. Basi is joining us from Calabar, Nigeria. Okay, I need a lot more responses. 36 people, and we have less than 5 or 10, less than 10 responses. Come on, I need a lot more responses before we get started for today's session. Let's keep it going. So Julius joining us from Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So we also have Frank. Frank is joining us from Abuja, of Framirock. Apologies for that if I didn't get that correctly. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tony is joining us from Lagos. Thank you for joining today's session. Timmy Tokwe, I'm waiting for the place you're joining us from. Timmy Tokwe is joining us from Ibadan. Thank you for joining. All right, David or Isang is joining us from Lekki, Andrew, Edo State. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's go to the main matter, the main reason why we all gathered today. So I'm going to share my screen so that we can kickstart today's session. So like it is stated on the flyer, and as you can also see clearly on my slide, today's session is going to be a practical class. So please make sure if you need a glass of juice, if you need to have food, if you need to have a banegusi, if you need to have rice and chicken right beside you while you're attending this session, but please don't sleep off. Just make sure you have all that, right by you so you can enjoy the session end to end. Please also get your laptop, your notes, your pen, your paper, have every single thing right beside you so that we can kickstart today's session. You're going to be practicalizing right alongside with your facilitator for today. So make sure that you have all the necessary tools, your laptop, your notepad, your pen, all those right beside you so you can get started when he comes on board. Okay, so like You can see on the slide, today's session is a practical session, and it's how to integrate Zapier with ChatGPT and Google Sheets to make smart reporting. So a lot of us on this call, we are still doing things very manually. For you to prepare that dashboard, you have to go and create, you have to clean the data, you have to sort of analyze the data, create pivot tables before you now come to creating your dashboard. But there are so many other ways for you to gather insights, especially if you're a business professional. And that is what you're going to be learning, because I know a lot of people on this call are active working professionals. And if not, even if you're a student, you're doing your project, this is something that can also really, really help you. And that's what we're going to bring on today's call. Apart from the practical aspects, we're also going to be giving you snippets in terms of, how can I make money? How can I get a job? A lot of you are eyeing foreign roles. You want to make money in dollars, you want to make money in pounds, but you don't know the practical steps in achieving this. Right after the practical session, you're also going to be getting a lot more information in that regard. So please just stay tuned. Don't hurry. Just make sure that you follow through to the very end, and then we can have a conversation with you. So before we get started properly, who is the proud sponsor, so to say, of today's session? And today's session is proudly sponsored by Tenalytics Business. So now that brings me to the chat and everyone on this call. If this is the very first time that you're hearing about Tenalytics Business, please drop a 1 in the chat. But if not, for my OGs that have always joined our masterclass, drop a 0. So now I need to know more interaction in the chat. If this is the first time that you are joining our session, please drop a 1 in the chat. If not, please drop a 0. Oh, 1. Additional is a first-time comer. First-time comers in the house. Fantastic. Additional is a 1. Temitokwe, 1. Brahim is 1. Blessing is an OG. Okay, that's a 0. David, 1. Adeyemo, 1. 0. Dankat, 0. All right, so we have a mix of people. We have the OGs and we also have the first-time comers. First-time comers, please book your biro, your laptop, and move to the front. We have special offerings for you. Just make sure that you write your name down in the attendance, and it will give you something very light right after the session. So my colleague is also dropping the attendance form. So just ensure that you fill in the attendance so that you can have the information and something light right after the session. Okay, so for the OGs, thank you for always sticking with us. We can't appreciate you enough in that regards. So moving into giving you like a slight intro on what Tenalytics Business is. So we are a leading e-learning platform, and we majorly focus on helping individuals upskill. We also help in helping organizations achieve their business goals and objectives through empowering their staff from professional development standpoint. Okay, so even if you are an individual, you're joining to learn to get better from where you currently are, this is a call for you. If you are also looking to get a new role or get into AI, this is also the call for you. And that's what we try to achieve at Tenalytics Business. We have quite a number of courses, top-notch courses. You will get to hear them very soon. And they are all forward-thinking, future-thinking, AI-related courses. We'll drop all those nuggets right at the end of the session. And the basic goal for us is just to ensure that staffs are able to perform at optimal rate. So your productivity level is increased. If you're a staff, if you're an individual, you get better at what you're doing and you can earn more. You can also do other aspects, other activities on the side with the use of tech. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So thank you so much for sticking with me. I know I've been boring you guys with a lot of information. So let's now go to the facilitator for today. Let's go to the activity that we're going to be having today. So I'm going to present to you the superstar that's going to be taking you on today's session. He's no other than Abdullah Musa. And he even has an acronym. People that have acronym, just know they are on another level from where you are. So Abdullah is a super trainer when it comes to AI, and especially the AI aspect, how to automate your workflow, how to make use of AI to improve your activities. That is your go-to guy. And he's going to be taking you in today's session. He is someone that has led mighty teams across logistics, business intelligence, software development, if you're a startup founder, yeah, please don't poach our guy. He's someone that has been working with different startup companies, and he just makes sure that your systems are smarter, more efficient, more effective. He's a very strong business analyst, and he's going to be taking us on today's session on how to automate your workflow. So you're going to be learning how to make use of Zapier, ChatGPT, Google Sheets. So please, like I mentioned, have all the materials you need to learn in today's class. Before I hand over to him, I want to make sure that all 50 of us are present. So let's have your favorite reactions as I call up your facilitator for today, Abdullah Musa. Please, let's give me a warm welcome. Please, let's have your reaction. All right, thank you so much, Rahim. I'm still sitting with Rahim, David, Fangu, Peace. I guess all of you are trying to, thank you so much. All right, Abdullah, over to you. Let's have you.
Can you hear me? Hi,
Yeah,
Treasure.
we
Can
can
you?
hear you now.
Okay, super cool, super cool. Thank you very, very much. Good evening, everybody. I hope we are all doing very, very fine. So, Treasure, I would love to pin myself to the screen for everybody to see. So, just a moment. So everybody can see me and see who is speaking. Okay. Good evening, everyone. I hope we are all doing very, very fine. Um, can I get reactions, please? So tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling. Okay, super, super cool. So yeah, I'm a tech bro, but I decided to go traditional tonight. So it's just one of those styles of the tech person, right? So well done, everybody, and welcome to today's session. I'm very, very privileged and very, very honored to join you all on here. My name is Abdullah Iyondaolo Musa. So if you saw that Treasure brought up an acronym the other time, AIM. So those are the mnemonics of my name, okay? So if you want to ask a question to me tonight, you can just raise your hands and say, "Oh, hey, AIM." Okay, it's all the mnemonics of my name. You've called out my full government name at once. All right. So Abdullah Yondaolo Musa is the name. And yes, my boss here has already done like the traction, okay, in opening the flow for everything. Okay, so I'm going to be driving us all on Zapier and a couple of other things. Okay. So like I said, reactions, please. Reactions. I want to know how many of us are geared to learn something around automations. Okay, okay. My colleague here too would also be, dropping some nuggets after I am done. Okay, so make sure to be um on the edge of your seats, okay? And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and walk us through every single thing in a moment. Okay. Um, so just to confirm, Treasure, are you sharing your screen or should go on?
Yeah, you can go ahead to share your screen.
Okay, super cool. Thank you very much for the privilege, ma'am. Okay, just a moment, guys. Okay, can we all see my screen now? All right. You should be able to see my screen in a bit coming up. Can we all see my screen now, guys? Okay, thank you very, very much. All right. So, like we said, okay, we're going to be driving us through um, practical automations, okay, how to integrate Zapier with ChatGPT and Google Sheets for smart reporting. So, if you all know what ChatGPT is, you should also know what Google Sheets are, right? So, basically, we want to learn how we can connect these two tools, okay, with each other so they can ultimately give us results and give us what we want at the end of the day. All right. So yeah, majorly, one of the major things going into tonight, we're going to be discussing why should we automate reporting? Why is it necessary for the business? Okay. And also, when we speak about intelligent automation, okay, there's a difference between artificial intelligence and also intelligent automations. Okay. We are going to be um, walking us through a case study, a very, very intelligent one. All right. After which I would hand over to my colleague once we are done with the whole structure. Okay. So yeah, um, majorly, uh, automations, okay, it's something that really, really helps businesses, really, really helps people, really, really helps systems a lot, okay? So it helps you, on the structures of manual data tracking, okay? Make sure that the whole structure of manual data tracking is erased from your whole structures, okay? So manual data tracking makes make sure that somebody is saying I'm muted. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but I guess you're speaking from another device and your actual video's screen is muted. But yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Super cool, super cool. So majorly, manual data tracking is the one we do, gather data in one sheet, gather data in another sheet, and so on and so forth, like that, right? But one of the major things that manual data tracking makes your business time consuming, makes whatever you are doing time consuming, and it is error prone. Okay, you are prone to make errors as human beings. All right. So one of the major things that automations bring into the picture, okay, is to do what? Is to close that gap. All right, is to make sure that everything is seamless, everything is less time consuming, okay, and it's something that you give an order to work on, okay. So secondly, is that uh, in the normal structures, okay, there is a lack of centralized reviews, okay, or a feedback system, okay. So people can keep on doing the same thing every single time till we are able to get maybe a review, till we are able to get, you know, a feedback of structure. But when utilizing automations, it makes it clearer. Okay, it makes it clearer. It takes it straight to the point. Okay, and once you apply your feedback, it gets it immediately and works seamlessly. This is another important. Okay, and there are manual data tracking or manual structures delay our decision making. Okay, due to our data bottlenecks. Okay, due to our big data bottlenecks, our old manual structure gets delayed, okay, when we are making decisions. But this is what automation is coming to do for us. It is coming to speed up our data flow, giving us better insights, giving us better business actions, and so on and so forth, like that. Okay, so now we have what we call intelligent automation. Okay, intelligent automation. Now, when we say intelligent automation, we mean that we are creating a connected system where every task flows automatically from one stage to another seamlessly. without any break in the whole structure. Okay, so that is one thing about an automation being intelligent. We have traditional automations. For those of us that are traditional data analysts here, okay, picking from the simplest structure. If we are writing our if functions and so on and so forth like that on our spreadsheets and the likes like that, we're giving it conditions. Okay, that's like the traditional way of, one of the little things that can relate to automation. Okay, when we are looking at maybe data structures and so on and so forth like that. So when we say intelligent automation, we are talking about a system that is able to operate on its own, okay, move seamlessly on its own, where all the task flows automatically from one stage to another stage. So it's not about automating one task. So it is moving itself from this point to this point seamlessly without human intervention. Okay, you don't have to always go there to correct something like your if functions. Okay, so that's it basically. So it's a simple example is talking about an e-commerce order. All right, once the customer clicks on buy, everything else happens, without manual intervention. Once you click on buy, the next thing you are expected to see is a payment page. You make your payments, confirmation happens, dispatching happens, even giving feedbacks too happens. What do you think is at the back end of those things? It is automation. Okay, it is automation. Why is it that whenever you click on buy, an invoice will be sent directly to your email? That's automation. Okay, in the whole system. All right, so AI in its own scope and in its own structure makes this journey intelligent and self-optimizing. And let me tell you one thing for free. AI has been existing for decades. Meanwhile, we did not know that it existed. Our formulas we were writing, our calculations we were doing, we can think of it as something artificial that makes sure that anytime we input something, it must give us the exact result we are looking for. Okay, a very, very simple example is our calculators. If you press 2 plus 2, if it gives you 5, just know that maybe it is from China. They made your device. I'm kidding. So this is me just throwing shades at the XR iPhone 17 Pro Max people. Okay, so if your calculator is pressing 2 plus 2 is 5, just know that something is wrong in the system already. That's not intelligence. Okay, that's another thing. Okay, so yeah, that is it basically. Okay, so if you are still with me up till this point, let me see your thumbs up, please. If you are still with me up till this point, let me see your thumbs up, please. Okay, super cool. All right. Well done, everybody. Well done, everybody. And yeah, we're going straight into our case study, okay? We are going to be creating something very, very seamless. It's going to be a real life structure, okay? You are going to give me a feedback, and we are going to be using ChatGPT to measure the sentiment. So give me any type of feedback, okay? It can be positive, it can be negative. What we are going to do in this case study now would ensure that our structure, it populates our data seamlessly and says, oh, this review this person gave is not going to mention your name out, so you are safe. Okay. So this review this person gave, okay, this review based off how I measured it, based off my sentiment out of it, okay, this sentiment is negative. Okay, this person means a negative structure. Oh, this person means a positive structure. Okay, so what we want to do is that we want to do an automatic review collection and want to do an analysis on it. Okay, sentiment analysis, okay, using reviews from live audience like you, okay. So what we want to do is to capture your reviews, we'll store them in Google Sheets, and we'll summarize it inside ChatGPT, and we won't be writing any code. Okay, we'll do everything seamlessly in this session. And you can do this for small businesses, online stores. If you're offering a service, okay, you can run this by yourself. Okay, you can run this by yourself. Okay, so let's get right into it. I've opened my sheet already. Okay, I've opened my sheet already. Okay, so let me just create a new form. Okay, please don't forget to click the link in the chat box. All right, please let's not forget to click the link in the chat box. Okay, so I'm going to create a review form right about now. Don't worry, it's not magic, it's automation. So if you are enjoying the session, give your feedback. You can write anything. You can make it positive, you can make it negative. Anything you want to do it. Okay? Anything you want to do it. Okay? Okay, so we are gonna pull up a paragraph now, and let's just call this review or review form. Okay. Then publish this, manage, just a moment. Don't worry, Samuel, you are sure lost. No problems. Give your review. Okay. Viewing the old structure. Okay. So let's go straight into it in a bit. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat box now for you to kind of fill in the form. Okay. So just fill in our feedback form. Oh, okay, there's one called the feedback form. So let's fill in the review form. Let's do that in the next 2 minutes. Okay. So let's populate many responses. Okay. I just dropped a link. Okay. So just click on it. Once you click on it, you'd have access to a page like this. Okay. You'd have access to a page like this. Just drop a review and submit. Okay. Drop a review and submit. Okay. So you should see it at the top here. I'm going to pin it. It's not going through. We have a lot of note takers here that are collecting our space here. Okay. So I just dropped it once more. I just dropped it once more. Okay. We should be able to see the link now. Okay, we should be able to see the link now. Once you click on the link, you should be able to, access something like this. So just drop your comments. Drop your comments. Super cool. I already have. Okay. 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 Just drop long stuffs. Okay. Okay. I already have 12. Someone should drop something negative. I want us to I want us to, okay, yeah. I love what I see, but I really don't understand though. What the recording? Okay, okay. How do you want ChatGPT to handle these comments? No problem. No problem. So someone should drop, I want someone to drop something a bit, negative in that form, actually. Okay. All right. So learning new stuff, it can be a bit, okay, but it's good, okay. So we are just gonna go ahead, all right, and do a couple of magic. You are lost, Baba. How can you be found? You are calling me Baba because of my cap. Don't worry. Don't worry. They will drag you. They will drag you later on. Okay. They'll bring you up to speed. Don't worry. Don't worry. You'll be brought up to speed. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Drop that comment. Drop that comment in the form. Thank God my filler is bringing out some comments. So yeah, I was actually looking for my black one before coming up to the session, right? So it could go with the black top, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so let's go. Now, this is Zapier, all right? This is Zapier, and we are going to be creating our Zaps, okay, inside Zapier. What we want to do is very, very simple. Get our responses from the form, okay? Once you've gotten the responses from the form, as you can see, these are the responses, okay? These are the responses, all right? So once we've gotten the responses from the form, one thing we also want to do is to pull up a sentiment, okay? We want to pull up a sentiment column, okay? We want to pull up a sentiment column, all right? So yes, this is Zapier. If I go back to the home page, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is what Zapier looks like. You can create automated workflows, create automated data, build your chatbots, create process visualizations, and so on and so forth. And you can check other templates and a lot of other things. Okay, but let's go right into the deal of the day. Okay, we want to go right into the deal of the day. So what we want to do is to, first of all, pull up our Google Sheet access. Okay. So once you click on this, you can, enable your Google Sheet. All right. What we want to do is to make sure that we are connecting our Google Sheet. It's very, very simple to connect. See, it's not a hard to, it's just a drag and drop type of structure. Okay. So don't be afraid. Zapier won't, handle your data uselessly. Okay, it's just working with what it needs to work with. All right. Now that it is connected, one of the basic things we want to do. Let me expand this so you can see it very well. So one of the events is that we want to check for any new or any updated spreadsheet row, okay, in our Google Sheet. Okay, then the next step is to configure it. Once you select the type of spreadsheet, okay, once you select the type of spreadsheet, the review form, all right, as you can see, that's the type of spreadsheet. And what we want to do is to reference our form, okay, where our form responses are. Wow, I have 24 responses. This is super cool. Okay, so the trigger column is the review structure, okay? So, and I'm going to click on continue, all right? And I'm going to test the trigger now, okay? And you see that it will pull up several data about it. So this is someone's review. I need the full teaching because I came very late. This is another one. This is another one, right? So let's just continue let's just continue with our selected records. Okay. And we'll go on to the next step. What we want to add now is our chat GPT. Okay. We want to add our chat GPT to gather data for us. Okay. We want to gather data for us. And what we want it to do is to kind of analyze the text. Okay. We want it to analyze the text. All right. Just a moment. Let's cancel this. I need to confirm something. Okay. Just a moment, guys. I need to pick up something real quick. Nothing too technical. So right here, I want to pick up my ChatGPT's API key. So instead of me to go into ChatGPT directly, okay, instead of me to go into ChatGPT directly to go and pick up my ChatGPT's data or type in my question one by one, okay, what I want to do is to pick up my OpenAI API key. All right, that's what I want to do now. Okay. All right. So it's coming up. I want to connect my account. Okay. All right. So let's continue to add GPT. Let's reconnect this account. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to click on continue. All right. And what we want to do is that we want to analyze, okay? We want to analyze our reviews, okay? We want to analyze our what? Our reviews. That's one thing we wanna analyze, okay? The text that it needs to analyze is the review. And what we want is to analyze sentiment. It should analyze the sentiment in our data, okay? Want it to analyze the sentiments in our data. So it's going to pick up the data and it's going to analyze it. All right. So let me click on test the step, and even right from here, you'll be seeing the sentiments. Okay, you'll be seeing the sentiments. Can I make this? Can I expand this? Let me see if I can expand this. Okay. So you can see ChatGPT is already giving us the response. This is the analyzed text, okay? And the analysis is that the text expresses a feeling of confusion or uncertainty, all right? And the final sentiment is what? Negative, okay? The final sentiment is what? Negative, okay? I believe we can all see my screen. Can we all see my screen? Okay. Please kindly check your network. Oh. It can be network issues at times. It can be network issues at times, my people. All right. So I'm gonna publish this, and so while we publish that, I still need to edit it so we can collate our responses down into our Google Sheets back, okay? Want to collate our responses back into our Google Sheet. And what we want to do is to update our spreadsheet row. Okay. All right. So want to update our spreadsheet row. All right. So I'm going to expand this so we can see it very well. Okay, the spreadsheet is the review form. Okay, our worksheet is our form responses, our rows can be this, and we are gonna so we don't need that. It's actually the sentiments that we need. Okay, it's actually the sentiment that we need. Okay, it's actually the sentiment that we need, and we are going to pick up what we need from the whole structure, the sentiments. Okay, and we've done that. So we can, just to know that, yes, it is working truly, I'm going to make my text bold and it's going to be on italics, okay? So let's do that, and we are going to test the step. Okay, we are going to test the step. All right, and we would publish it. Okay, let's call this version filler. So version filler 1.0. Yes. So we've updated our yeah, so that is it now. Okay. We have fully published our Zap. What it does is to check for new and updated rows, and it's going to help us analyze the text. Once it has finished analyzing the text, let me see if I can zoom in. Let me see if I can zoom in for those of us that can't really see my screen very well. Okay, so one of the things I did was to collate responses from Google Forms into our Google Sheets. Okay, then after that, we sent those texts down to ChatGPT to do what? To analyze those texts for sentiment. Okay, we told it, okay, look at this text and this thing that these people said, let us know what they said about it. Okay, and we told you that, okay, once you've done that, update our spreadsheet. Okay, update our spreadsheet. So moment of truth, moment of truth. Moment of truth, guys. I believe we are all getting what I'm explaining. Are we getting what I'm explaining? There'll still be rooms for questions. Okay. Okay, there'll still be rooms for questions. All right. And so I'll create rooms for questions. All right. So yeah. So if we go straight down into our spreadsheet, okay, you're going to see it. Okay, it's going to bring out our structure. Okay. Um, just a moment. Let's edit this in a bit. Okay. So let's edit this in a bit. Okay, and we would work on it once more. So just a moment, guys. Okay, so we need to kind of reconfigure it. Okay, we need to reconfigure our values here. There's going to be a recording. Okay, there's going to be a recording. All right, there's going to be a recording for those of us that are still not getting it. Okay, there's going to be a recording. Okay, there's going to be a recording for those of us that are not getting it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and explain it once again once we are done. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to see our structures in a bit. Okay, but it keeps on. So as you can see, it has started populating. Okay, little by little, it will keep on populating like that till it gets to the end. All right, so that is that about that. Now down to our questions, because we don't have too much time on our hands anymore. Okay, we don't have too much time on our hands anymore. So I'm going to explain the workflow once more. Okay, then we are going to take questions. Okay, we're going to take questions. Now, first off is that we got we got our responses from you all. Okay, we got our responses from you all using Google Forms. Then that review point got into our spreadsheet. Okay, into our spreadsheet. Then from that spreadsheet, we're able to connect it to ChatGPT to say, oh, look at these people's review. Okay, look at these people's review and make sense out of it. Draw a conclusion out of this review and tell me if this review is positive or this review is negative. Okay, draw a conclusion and tell me, ChatGPT. That's what we did here. Draw a conclusion and tell me if this review is positive or it is negative. Okay, and that is what we have done here. All right, so if you have any questions, let me get them in the chat box before I hand over down to Treasure. Please type your questions in the chat box. Okay, David Oluwatomisin Oluwatayo. Hi, David. I hope you are doing very, very fine. So your question says, why did you use the / in some fields? The reason why I use the / in some fields is because of referencing. Okay, we call it referencing. All right, so as to reference the cell I want it to update. Okay, all right, so as to reference the cells I want it to update. For example, if I go into my ChatGPT's structure now, you see that under this text to be analyzed, all right, I need you to focus here at this point. Unfortunately, Basi, I won't be able to restart the whole process, but the recording will be very, very much available for you to see. Okay, so as I was saying, David, so for example, okay, the text to be analyzed, all right, is done with a /. Okay, so I'm using it to reference my spreadsheet. You know, if I do not have it there, I need to put a / to reference the column that I want it to analyze. Okay, the column I want it to analyze is what I referenced there in terms of review, and I continued. Okay, and it did the configuration, it did the test. Okay, and this is where it got us to. All right, so that is that about that for your question. Okay, so yeah, another question is, how did I get my API keys? Okay, I got my API keys through OpenAI's API structure. Okay, so if you go to your browser, just type in OpenAI API. Okay, so you see something around OpenAI structures. Okay, so and on here you can click on your open or create an OpenAI API key. Okay, so it's a freemium type of structure. All right, it's a freemium type of structure. If you are using it too much, it's going to limit you and it's going to request for payments at some point. Okay, but with limited usage, you are good to go. Okay, what did you do, or better still, how did you connect your ChatGPT to your spreadsheets? Yes, I connected it using Zapier. Okay, we connected everything using Zapier. All right, pulled up our Google Sheets, connected our ChatGPT, then continued with our Google Sheets. Can you use other LLMs like Quen or DeepSeek instead of ChatGPT? What if I want to use MS Office instead of Docs? It is very, very much um, possible, okay, Julius? It is very, very much possible. If I want to use, I have the ability to pull up 7,000 structures, okay, 7,000 apps. I can connect, disconnect, join with wire, and do anything I want, okay, with over 7,000 apps, okay. At the top here, you are going to see search 7,000 plus apps or more, okay. So if I want to connect to places like Perplexity, my Google Cloud Console, and other large language models, okay. No, so I just answered your question. Other large language models, okay. This is it, okay. You can connect to over 7,000 apps, okay, and tools to automate your whole process, okay. Yeah, that's that about that. All right. I'm gonna take two more questions and we are good. And I can see those two questions right at my front. Okay. So one question is, can I connect any job board to my Google Sheet and link to my ChatGPT to automate my job search into the Google Sheet? Yes, you can. Okay. Make use of webhooks. All right, and we are good. All right. So instead of you to so yeah, that's just basically use webhooks to draw your data into Zapier, and that's cool. Okay. One other question. Can you briefly explain what Zapier is and how does it work? Yeah. Okay. Zapier, I think I've explained it enough. Okay. So Zapier is that tool that connects, multiple applications that makes you transfer data from one point to another seamlessly without you having to do too much work. Okay, just like we did here now, we gathered some data into our Excel and we didn't have to go back to that Excel to update it, or our Google Sheet. We didn't have to go back to that Google Sheet to update it. Okay, what we just did is just send it to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT did the rest. It analyzed the reviews and it did the rest. Okay, so I'm going to be drawing my curtains here tonight. Everybody has picked my brains. That's super, super cool. That's super fine. All right. So I am going to. You are welcome. You are welcome. Okay. I'm going to hand over down to my Oga at the top, Treasure. Hi, Treasure. I hope you also enjoyed the session too.
Yeah, it was a fantastic session. Thank you so much, Abdullah. In short, aim. Please, my people on the call, let's get as many reactions as possible. Your facilitator did an amazing job showing you how to make use of Zapier, connecting different tools, and that's what AI automation is about. So don't be in a hurry to drop off right now, because you've gotten one aspect, that's the practical aspect. But now it's going to boil down to the point in terms of, how do I make money from this? Treasure, AI automation. I've heard AI. I've been hearing AI since the last 2 years. But how do I make money from it? How do I get a job? How do I get my skills? How do I get experience? Please, that is where I come in. That is my expertise. So I'm going to be walking you through the process of basically getting roles, start applying for jobs, and also how to get the skills, AI automation itself. So does anyone have any final comments for your facilitator before my slide comes up? Any questions, you can drop it on the chat. So while we're going through with the presentation, then Abdullah or AIM can continue with taking your questions in the chat. So please don't be shy. Just drop your questions in the chat and he would respond to it as soon as he gets it. Okay, so moving on to the very next stage of this presentation. When it comes to applications, when it comes to jobs, when it comes to you looking to get that role, your dream job, what do you think that two main things that you think that employers need from you? And if you're an OG in this session, that means if you've attended my session in the past, please don't respond. Let the newbies get it so that they can get their special package. If you can tell me two main things that employers look out for when it comes to you actually getting a job role, what do you think they are? Please drop it in the chat. And if you know the answer to the question, I know you people by name, don't respond. I'm waiting. Let's get it. Let's have that information in the chat. I'm waiting to see, when it comes to employers, what are the two main things that they are looking for? Rahim. Okay, let's have more responses. I would love a lot more responses before we move on to the next aspect. Okay, thank you, Rahim. Thank you, Frank. See, these are the people that will eat my money, because it looks like a lot of people have gone to bed. They've left their laptop and their phone, and now they've forgotten that they're in a session. Please, let's have a lot more responses. We need a lot more responses so that we can go into the next aspect of the session. Is it only Rahim and Frank that are here? The people really go to bed and forgot that they are having a session? Okay, thank you so much, Sunny. Let's have it. There are over 54 people on this call. I'm not going to accept just 3 responses. That is not enough for us to proceed. Let's have more responses, a lot more responses. So when it comes to employment, you're going for a job. What do you think the 2 main things that employers are looking out for? Let's go. All right, so now I'm going to take quite a number of the responses I see in the chat. So we see, taking it up from the top, Rahim said skills and experience. Frank said CV and portfolio. Sunny said skills and experience. Temitope, portfolio experience. Basi, skills and experience, portfolio, skills, experience, and even exposure. I like that. Experience, skills, CV, and your portfolio. These are all, we have amazing people on this call. These are fantastic responses. So I'm going to go back to my slide. So the 2 main things that employers want from you when it comes to you actually applying for a job is, drum roll please. Yeah, the responses are right there, and some of them have been rephrased in more ways that I haven't looked at. So skills, experience, exposure, composure, packaging, learning, like whatever way you want to phrase it, those are very, very important aspects for you as an individual. So for you to get that dream role, if you are dreaming that, oh, I want to be working in Google as the next project manager, next business analyst, next AI project manager, next data, then you need to have the skills. You cannot keep wishing on the stars. Nothing is going to happen unless you get that skill. Okay, so once you have the skills, once you have the foundation, that's the very beginning. That's the start. That's literally where you're going to start from, and that's where you're going to build from. Okay, so getting the skill set is learning the information and the practical aspects of what you're going to be working as. So if I'm going to be working as a project manager, I'm going to use that as an example because I'm a project manager. I really need to know the basics. Do I know how to create a project charter? Do I know how to make use of Trello? Do I know how to make use of Jira? Have I ever done a kickoff meeting? Can I communicate with people? When people see me speaking, or when people hear me speaking rather, are they engaged? Can they listen to me for a long period of time? So that's the skills that I need to have as a project manager. As a data analyst, do you know how to make use of Power BI? Do you know how to make use of Tableau? Have you ever in your life gone through Excel and created a dashboard and you want to be earning $50,000 a year? Please, come on, let's come off it. You need to be very serious with that. You need to actually get that skill set, okay? Once you have the skill set, the next thing is, now you've gotten the skills. How would someone be able to say, oh, you've been working for 5 years, 10 years, and you don't have any level of experience? So experience help you and solidify the skill sets that you have, okay? So if you want to say you have 2 years of experience, you don't even necessarily need to work for a company to get 2 years of experience. You can volunteer, you can do personal projects, you can reach out to top companies and say, oh, please let me give you my service, don't pay me. People think that that's ridiculous, but it's you building your experience. If you have on your CV, your resume that, oh, I have worked at Google, even if it's as an intern, just because you have worked at Google, even if they didn't pay you, you have that experience, you have that name, you have that exposure. So it's one thing to have the skill sets, that's learning, being able to do the activities required for the job role, and it's another thing for you to have experience. So experience is where like people will be able to understand that you've worked in this particular field for quite a number of time, for them or see your CV as important. Okay, so you need to build your skills, you need to get the skills rather, and then you need to build your experience. Okay, so these are two things that employers look out for majorly when they need you to get, or when you're trying to employ you for a particular role. So now you're going to ask me, Treasure, I've heard AI, I've heard Zapier, I've heard data analytics. What is the next step for me? So I'm going to show you 3 practical ways in which you can get yourself that desired role. If you are currently working, as an owner of a business, how you can also upskill your staff. And finally, if you're looking to transition from one industry to another, what the next steps look like. That brings me to my next slide. So the first thing you need to do is to actually learn, like sit down, take book and biro, get into classes, have your laptops, listen and learn, digest the information, because nothing would start if you don't learn. If you don't move that needle, if you don't actually sit down to get the information, you cannot start. Okay, so you need to get the right source to be able to learn whatever role you're going for, whether if it's AI data analyst, whether if it's AI automation, you need to learn. You need to actually get that information, okay? And so when it comes to learning, what does it entail for you? So for you to learn, you need to find what that in-demand skill is. If you are a real estate person in this call, you know that when it comes to buying land, you don't buy land where people have bought land from before. You go to where people haven't touched, but it has strong prospect of being a very important thing in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And that's where you go and build your house. Once you've built your house there, in the next 3, 4, 5 years, it appreciates. So if you get that skill set now, you're not going to get the skill sets that are sort of phasing out, like graphics design, like data engineer, like data, what they call it now, data collection, okay? Because these are skills that would phase out in a couple of months and a couple of years, because that's where AI is coming in. So you need to go to where there are a lot more in-demand skills for you to actually get that desired role. So if you're coming to AI, if you're coming to data, if you're coming to prompts and social influence, do you know that there is nobody on planet Earth that has over 10 years worth of experience in AI, especially in Nigeria? And guess why? Because AI just started. AI literally just started. The wave of AI, artificial intelligence, just came up, okay? So for you to have that amount of experience, for you to start where a new skill is just coming up, you need to plug yourself into that new skill set to be able to grow with it and grow. And then you are now a senior AI project manager, a senior AI data analyst, a senior workflow specialist. Okay, so you need to get those hot cake skills that people haven't really gotten into, like data, like AI, like prompting, social influence, cybersecurity. These skills are just coming up, okay? Because when it comes to social influence, you see a lot of content creators popping up. For cybersecurity, a lot of people are working online. So they need to be able to protect their data. They need to be able to protect their information. These are why these skills are coming up, because there are new sets of problems. So these are new sets of solutions for each of those problems. So you need to pick up one of these skills. You need to learn it. Not that you would go and, go on Coursera, watch the 3 videos and call it a day and say you've gotten the skills. No, skill set is not by watching videos. It's not by also only listening to the professional speak. It's applying. If I'm teaching you how to use N8N to build a workflow and you don't go ahead to go and use it, forget it. You're never getting that skill in this lifetime. So it's really important that you sit down and you learn the skill, an in-demand skill that can get you your desired results. The very next step is for you to package. Somebody say package, my people. This is not a church, but yeah, it is very, very important for you to package yourself. Okay, packaging is what makes people even want to listen to you. Okay, if I came on this call and I had a very rough hair and I'm speaking in pidgin, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, or I'm speaking in Yoruba, I'm speaking in Hausa, I'm speaking in a very different dialect. Apart from the standard that people expect to see, nobody would listen. Okay, so you need to package yourself, you need to package your CV, you need to package your LinkedIn. Everything needs to be set prim and proper for you to get that desired role. And how does that happen? So for CV revamp, in terms of if you're looking for getting an AI project management role and you don't have any AI projects on your CV, or you don't even have a portfolio of projects that you've worked on, I'm really sorry, but the chances of you getting an actual role is near to impossible. So you need to start building your profile to exude the type of role that you want to go for. If I'm going for AI project management, my LinkedIn profile, design it from start to finish. Okay, having projects management, having projects that I've worked on, working on a portfolio. people say this over and over again, but I don't think it's emphasized enough. You need to have that. You also need to build in public. Okay. If I'm working on different projects, especially N10, and I have my workflow execution and I do a video, post it on LinkedIn, people would be intrigued because I'm a project manager. I'm not supposed to know how to use anything. But now I do know how to use it, and I know how to use it to improve my workflow. People are quite interested in that. So always learn how to package whatever you learn and continuously build in public. So that's the very next step for you. So once you've been able to package, the next thing now is for you to apply. And please, it's not that you have a project manager role. Okay, you apply to 1 million project management role with one CV. It's the same CV that I used to apply for AI project manager, I used to apply for Scrum Master, is what you used to apply for HR coach. I'm so sorry. The chances of getting a role are just getting slimmer by the minute. You need to be able to tailor specific resumes to the particular job roles that you're applying for. Okay, so you need to have the keywords necessary so that you can use that tailored resume for the JD. And once you're done with that, once you have the next JD, you can tailor it. And I'm telling you, there are specific prompts that you use, and you don't even need to stress yourself. I created a workflow end to end on how to apply jobs without even applying for a job one day. On N10, there's a trigger. And all I need to do is trigger the information by every 24 hours to collect data from LinkedIn for the recent jobs that align with my master resume. I have what I call a master resume. And once I have that information, okay, it goes into ChatGPT to do a tailored resume for that specific JD, and it's output in a sheet. The sheet has all the tailored resume, all the likely JDs that works for my field. And then I go ahead to apply. You have people reaching out to you on a monthly basis because you tailored your resume properly. Your LinkedIn looks good. And people would say, oh, Treasure, when I look at your profile, you've worked in Finland, you've worked in Canada. I'm sorry, that's pretty much, that's the cheat code. You really need to package and apply to specific JDs that works and fits you. If not, the dollars, the naira, the pounds that we're all looking for, it's not really going to be as forthcoming as you need to do it. But once you've been able to apply all those principles, what happens to you? You get that job. You're smiling to the bank. When people are, struggling, you are on top and you show other people the way. Okay, literally. And this is something that you can do with AI. And this is how AI can change your life. Okay, even with the entire workflow process that you've done, you can also sell it to companies, and it just makes it very, very interesting and makes your life easier. You can get jobs I won't say at the snap of your finger, but it makes it easier for you to actually land that desired role. Okay, so now that you've been able to achieve this, if you've been able to do this end to end, it just increases your chances of getting an actual job. So you would ask me, Treasure, you've been speaking about this Learn package app. Where do I start from? Where exactly can I get the information about AI? And yeah, moving into, before we go into that, when it comes to like your LinkedIn profile, another very important aspect is your portfolio. So when I'm talking about your portfolio, I'm talking about the top 3 to 5 projects that you've worked on. Okay, when you're saying you're working on your project worth $10 million, you're working with a team across Canada, the UK, US, Ghana. It just gives you a level of a level of leadership, a level of authority. So your LinkedIn profile, your portfolio should show end to end all the things you've been able to achieve, okay? Because this is the very start point where recruiters will be able to see, oh, this is what you've done. It's been the reason why a company in the US is sending you a LinkedIn message, why a startup founder believes you can change his company. And all the simple things, you can do that with AI. And these are some of the people that have been able to achieve it while under our program. Okay, so our AI program, our data analytics program, business analysis program. If you check these people on LinkedIn, you can take a screenshot, you can go to their profile, you would see the different projects that they've been able to work on and what they've been able to achieve end to end. Okay, and this can also be you. Literally, we can have your pictures, your information on here because you've been able to put in the work and achieve those great things. So it's very important that you're able to build your portfolio, and it's also really important that you're able to optimize your LinkedIn profile because it's the first step for you to actually land that role. Okay, so Treasure, how can I start? Literally, like, how can I get into AI? Some people would say, okay, Treasure, okay, what's the next thing after AI? I learn what roles am I open to getting? There are loads of them, new upcoming roles. Every time I go through LinkedIn, I see AI projects manager, AI data analyst, workflow specialist, AI automation specialist. So these are different roles, okay? They're always the names are always changing, but it's still the same core concept. if you have the core understanding of these different programs, then you're able to achieve, you can easily get roles. And the good part about this is these roles are not typically yet so many in Nigeria, but if you go abroad, Canada, US, UK, these roles are popping up every single day. And the little ones that you have here in Nigeria, it's between 700 to over 2 million naira. And I'm not even saying senior level AI project manager, I'm saying someone with at least between 3 to 5 years of experience. So how do you build that? How do you build that for yourself? Okay. So literally where you can start is by our programs that we have. Okay. Our AI projects that are coming up, our AI programs. So the very first one that we have is called the AI Automation Engineer. And this one is very special among all the other special courses because it's going to teach you different aspects when it comes to like your AI agents, when it comes to prompt engineering and how to create different workflows. So you've heard me mention N10 quite a lot, okay? Because this particular tool can help you with complex workflow. Even what the facilitator presented today, Zapier, it's also used for creating automated workflows end to end. And this particular tool, one very interesting thing about AI automation engineering is a low-code tech skill, literally meaning that the coding is very minimal. All you're literally doing is connecting different tools together. I'm connecting N10 to ChatGPT. I'm connecting it to the script. I'm connecting it to Google Sheets. I'm connecting it to the Drive. So it's just plug and play. It's going through the entire process and finally outputting a result for you. Okay? And then with the information that you have on there, you can be able to create workflows even for whatever industry you're in, whether you're in finance industry or you're in the health industry. These workflows are automated end to end for you. Okay. And the good part is you can easily transition out of the industry you're currently in into something different entirely, because what you have here would be the core basis and what you're using for the different industries that you find. Okay. So basically, when it comes to AI automation, apart from getting roles, you can also freelance. If you're going on Upwork, if you're going on remote work, these are different platforms where you can put in the projects that you've worked on, and then basically you're getting people that are bidding for your service. So it's just the different new ways in which the projects, the processes that you're working on can fetch you some money. Okay. So even if you want to either use it as your full-time job or a side gig, you are making money. That's the important thing. I know a lot of us here want to make money, and that's what you can benefit from AI automation. If you're also looking to learn how to just optimize your skills, your workflow end to end, then this is very important for you. Okay. So if you want to see what you can achieve end to end, I'm going to go ahead to play this video, and I also played it at the very start of the conversation. It will show you what you can achieve with the tool, with the entire workflow, especially with N10. So in the next 2-3 minutes, let's just go through this video.
Know where you're joining me from. So are you in Lagos? Are you in Abuja? Are you in Canada like myself? Are you in the UK? Where are you joining from? I would like to know. All right, Akwa Ibom. Oh, okay. That's good.
So
good to have you here,
let's take that again. 1 second, guys. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Let's go this again. So I just want us to see like end to end in terms of what you can actually benefit from the AI automation course. So,
for an open university, lecturers have a lot of submissions to grade. And then imagine as a lecturer managing like 1,000 students and you having to grade their essays manually, right? It has become a pain point. Most of them use ChatGPT, but what they do is they download these submissions, feed it into AI to help them read it and all that. So what I am working on here, it's actually an automated grader, something that will look through all the submissions and automatically input the scores and give feedback for each student. So I decided to do an MVP. I called it an automated CV clarity grader, but that's not what it is. It's just an MVP. If I can do it for CV analysis, I can also do it for grading ACs, right? So I'm just going to run it. I will not explain the details, but this is just to show you that I have really benefited from the program already. This is just one of the projects I am working on. There are so many other ones, operation support assistant and all that. So basically, these are my student names and these are their emails. So I'm going to be running this flow. And I also have a drive somewhere where the CVs are stored. Give me a second. Let me show you what is happening. Just give me a second. Okay.
It's very simple. Investing.
All right, guys. So basically what I wanted to show you was like how you can make use of the automation flow, so that what he was basically trying to achieve there was he wanted to be able to grade his students' courses, and he was able to use the automation to do that. So imagine if you are a lecturer and you have over 1,000 students and you need to grade their courses, you can be able to achieve that in less than 5 minutes. So the end goal is that it's not only just going to be able to give you money, you know, in a different role, but with the current role that you are in, you can also achieve so much more. It can also help you with your workflow and make it easier and faster for you to get it done. Okay. So now the next set of courses that we have is also generative AI for data analysts and generative AI for every HR professional. So if you are a data professional, that is data scientist, data analyst, as well as data engineer, this would be a really good skill for you to get. Okay. So it's going to cover the very basis of, you know, DA, talking about the tools, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL, and then how can you automate it? So instead of me to spend in the next 2 hours trying to build a report, trying to build a dashboard to be able to generate insights for a business. If you're a business owner as well, this is also super important for you. You're going to be able to do that in less than 5-10 minutes. If you joined our previous session, you'd see us making use of things like Gemini, see us making use of things like Claude to be able to generate reports, a nice looking dashboard in less than 5 to 10 minutes. And this is something that a data analyst who could take the person 1 to 3 hours to first clean the data, analyze the data, create pivot tables, create the dashboard, make it look really good, have the different slicers, and you can do that in less than 5 to 10 minutes. And that's the power and beauty of AI automation, specifically for generative AI for data analysts. Okay. And in terms of the tools that you're going to be making use of, you're going to be making use of Excel, you're going to make use of SQL, Tableau, there's Copilot, N8N, Quadratic AI, there's Claude. You can see them on my screen. And these are the informations that you're going to be taught in the class that will be happening November 8th. So after that, you also have the classes for HR, my HR people on the call, even if you're a founder, HR, and you've also been trying to understand, okay, why are people, like what's the, based off what we've learned today, sentiment analysis, but this is going to be done for your employees, your staff. You want to check out attrition rate. You want to check out how you can improve the performance of your employees, but you need data, you need to analyze that data. Please, not to worry, you're also going to be taking that course, the automation flow, but specifically for the HR domain. You'll be learning basic things like foundation of generative AI for HR analysts, the different tools that would enable you to automate your workflow as a HR personnel, and how can you apply these activities. Just so that you know, whether it's AI automation, whether it's generative AI for data analysts or generative AI for HR analysts, all these tools are practical classes. I'm not going to be telling you, oh, AI, well, you start with that, you start with the theoretical aspect, but the major thing is for you to practicalize the activities that you've learned, okay? So if you're going to be working with HR data, if you're going to be building reports, trust me, at the end of each week, you're going to do a practical session. And each of this information is going to key into the portfolio. Remember when I started, I talked about your profile and I talked about your portfolio. So the projects you're working on is going to form the basis of your portfolio. You're also going to be putting out those projects on LinkedIn. And then as a business, we're going to help you push that out so that recruiters can see you and you are very visible or you're well positioned for this role. Okay. So these classes are going to be for 8 weeks. All the classes are going to be for 8 weeks. And now we have the last two because we're having 5 courses going into November 8th. So for this last two, we have generative AI for business analysts and generative AI for project managers. Okay, so when it comes to the business analysis aspect, when you're doing your requirements gathering, when you're trying to understand your business, and the same vein for projects. Okay, before you kick off a project, you have to gather the information, you have to work on your project charter, you have to work on your business case, you have to work with different tools like Trello, Asana, Jira. These are very important aspects for you. But instead of you to take whenever I'm creating my project charter or my Gantt chart and I'm saying I want to do requirement gathering, it takes 2 weeks. 2 weeks to get that, to have your PID documents ready. You need 2 weeks to work on all that. But what if I can do it in less than an hour? Would that not be great for me as a business analyst? Would that not be fantastic for you? And this is where all those tools that are on my screen comes into play. It's basically how to improve your processes end to end and make sure that you are able to deliver things. There's something we always say in project management. You're able to deliver on time, within scope, and within budget. So how can you achieve that? So just to help you get to your goal much faster than you typically get, you have all those tools to achieve that, and you have the AI automation process to help you get there. So like I mentioned, we're going to be having 5 different classes. You have a lot of options to go for. Either you're going for AI automation, or you're going for generative AI for data analyst, or you're going for generative AI for business analyst, HR analyst, or generative AI for project management. So whatever field or whatever aspect, there is a way to infuse AI into it. And since we're a tech forward company, this is something that you can achieve within 8 weeks. 8 weeks, 6 weeks of classes, and then 2 weeks of a capstone project. Now you're going to ask me, okay, Treasure, when is the class going to be? Classes are Saturdays and Sundays. So if you go to work Mondays to Friday, this is the best time. Saturday, Sunday, you have your classes 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sundays. Okay, so these are the different things you'll be benefiting from the program apart from training. We're not just going to train you and that will be the end of it. All the things I mentioned to review your CV, to help you with LinkedIn optimization, to prepare you for interviews when those interviews start rolling in, to help you with reference letter, also give you access to different freelancing tools and where you can get job roles from. These are the additional benefits you'll be getting apart from just training. Okay, so once you are able to do this, you can be one of the many success stories that we have in analytics business. So all these individuals, if you are a teacher, if you're a care worker, if you're a nurse, if you're a lawyer, because those are the questions that typically come in. How am I going to transition? I don't have any prior experience. These are people that actively, gone from teaching into the tech space, and they are making good amounts of money with the benefits of work home benefits in terms of the other packages that you will get in, okay? Not just only the skills. So if you want to go through this, please fill the attendance form. You have access to the slide and you can watch these individuals that have been able to achieve this after going through our programs. Okay, so now for the final, I've gone through this already. So for the final aspects, in terms of you getting jobs, there are different platforms which you can do that. You don't just need to stick with LinkedIn. I know LinkedIn, everybody's on LinkedIn to get jobs, but there are other platforms. There's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's built-in, well-found, remote work, remote OK, Jobs Presto. So you can apply to all those different aspects to get that specific job role that you are looking for. That's multi-million dollar role that you're looking for. Please, this is the place you get it. Okay. So now, how can you start? I already mentioned we're going to be starting the next course 8th of November. And the important aspect, Treasure, you've been talking, how much is me? How much am I going to pay today? So for the 5 courses that you have on my screen, the original amount is 200,000 naira. But the good is because of the benevolence and it's Christmas season, we're entering the Ember month, we've also decided that we're going to cut down on all the pricing and we're going to be giving at a discounted amount. So when we're talking about discounted amounts, we're talking about paying 150,000 naira to get started for the session. And this is literally for the first 20 people. I said that my last session, that got filled up. Now we're opening another slot and it's almost filled up right now. Okay, so instead of you paying 150,000 naira for AI automation, paying 100,000 naira for generative AI for data analysts, generative AI for HR analysts, generative AI for business science, and generative AI for PMs, you can start today. Like you can lock in your discounts as we are speaking with literally small amounts. Okay, so you can pay 70,000 naira right now and lock in your discounts for AI automation. You can pay 40,000 naira, lock in your discount for 100,000 for the generative AI for DA, pay 40,000 generative AI for HR analyst, pay 40,000 generative AI for business analyst, and if you pay 40,000, you're able to start your Gen AI course starting literally in the next 2 weeks. But this discount is not gonna be even till next week. It's literally just between today and the end of the week. So make sure if we get the first 20 people before the end of the week, it closes. So if you come to me, if you enter my DM and say, oh Tricia, I want to make payments, I'm so sorry, you know, that slot is closed. So I'm going to announce it very clearly here. To move on to the next step, just lock in your discount right now and you're able to achieve this and you benefit from the program end to end. Okay, so these are the courses. This is what you need to pay. This is the account details. So you can take a snapshot of this particular slide and you can go ahead to make payments. The beautiful thing about our session is the certificate you are getting is not I would say Nigerian certificate because I'm not going to abuse my country, but it's the certificate you're going to be getting is an internationally recognized certificate. That means if you're applying for jobs in US, UK, Canada, you can essentially present the certificates and it's duly recognized for the roles that you have on there. So once you have the certification, you're also going to get the different training. Then you can proceed in actually making or getting that desired job role. Okay, so these are the courses that we have so far. Now to the very interesting parts. I know a lot of people have questions. You can go ahead to drop your questions in the chat, or you can also raise your hand if you have any questions in regards to everything I'm speaking on so far, or if you have any question, any questions specifically, could be the program, could be the course. Now would be a good time for you to ask your question. If you don't want to raise your hand, you can also drop the question in the chat. So let's go. In the next 10-15 minutes, I want us to be done with the session. So let's have your questions. So you can either use the raise. We have over 36 people, and I'm very sure you stayed here because there's a connection. So please let me know specific questions that you have so we can proceed with assisting you in getting started today. So you can either use the raise hand icon or you can drop your questions in the chat. Let's go. All right. Are you people still here? If you're still here, please react. Use, it's not even question time now. Let me even know you're still present in the session. Use your favorite reaction. It could be, okay, thank you, Abasi. Let's go. I need more reaction. I need a lot more reaction. Uluma, Love it, Austin. Okay, Balogun. All right, thank you. So let me go to the chat. I see a question. Will the paid class be recorded? 1000%. Okay, so just like you have me recording this session, and once we are done, as far as you fill the attendance form, you have access to the recording. In the same vein, when your lecturer is your facilitator rather is taking the course, it's also going to be fully recorded, and at the end of the session you get access to the recording. So I hope that answers your question, Temitope. So the paid class is also recorded. You have access to the recording after each class. Okay. So looking forward to having you in the class, Temitope. Definitely, we're going to help you. Okay, we're going to make sure that we support you, even if you are busy for one reason or the other. If you're not able to attend the class, you will also be fully supported. Okay. All right. Please, let's have more questions. 35 people. I'm going to start calling out names because if you are here for a reason. You're not going to stay to the end of the session if you don't have any level of interest. So Adetoye, Akoka High School, Alexander, Andrew, Ayobami, Ayokumi, Bashir. Please let's have your question, people. So any questions you want, there's no, and please no, there's no stupid question. If you want me to go over something again, please just let me know and I would go over the information once more. Please, let's have your questions. Let's have your questions. You can drop them in the chat if you don't want to. You can also use the raise hand icon if you want to speak. You are at the liberty. You just raise your hand, and then we'll go to your question. Nonso, your hand has been raised for forever. Please let me know if this is a question so that I can I can give you access to unmute your mic and you can go ahead to speak. Hi, Nonso. Hi, Nonso, are you there? Okay, so I assume that's not a question. Does anyone have any other questions, or is everyone pretty clear with the process so far? So does that mean that all 32 of you are going to be registering for the November cohort? Please react. Let me understand if you're going to be joining the session right now. This house is very cold. We've been getting a lot of reaction. Right now, I'm not even seeing one reaction again. Okay, let's see. Please, can you explain again what is the role of an AI automation engineer? All right, thank you so much, Abaki. So when it comes to AI automation engineering, as name implies, you are sort of engineering the automation workflow. When I say engineering, you're improving, you're making it faster, you're making it easier and better. So AI automation engineer, you can also substitute the name for workflow automation engineer. So for the workflow automation engineer, you're going to be making use of different tools, different platforms, and very low code information to be able to execute your workflow faster, easier, and better with the use of artificial intelligence. So the use of artificial intelligence basically means that there are already established data, okay? That all you need to do is introducing the new set of data, whether it's in whatever industry that you're working with, to be able to achieve a desired goal. So if your desired goal right now is to create a dashboard, the workflow end to end as an AI automation engineer is for you to be able to make use of this tool to achieve that with limited efforts at quicker time, and it's supposed to be able to save you money at the end. That's the end goal. So that's pretty much what you'll be working with as an AI automation engineer. So if you're doing that as an HR person, if you want to be getting the progress updates or the work performance of your staff, and you don't want to be going through 1 million different data information, you can do that using your workflow. As far as you have the data populated somewhere, you just put it into the workflow that you've created on whatever tool you're making use of, and output a result. Okay, if you are doing this as a project manager, you want to be able to gather data, or you want to be able to gather sentiment analysis before you do an actual project. You can run the data through the particular tool you're going to be making use of, and at the end of the day, output a result. So all you're doing is making your workflow easier, faster, and you able to sort of work with a better time slot rather than you're already used to. And at the end of the day, making use of this with the effects of AI. Okay, so I hope I've been able to answer your question, Abasi. Or if you have any further follow-up question, you can. All right. Abasi, I'm looking to see you in the next session, like lock in that discount as I'm speaking. Let me even go back to the slide so you can see the payment information. Yeah, this is the account details. So that 40,000 that you want to go and use to enjoy tomorrow or Saturday, or go to an Owame party, please make that payment so you can, improve yourself. Okay, so Shedrack said, why is all the links that were sent not clickable? They are clickable. Like which link? If you're talking about the attendance, I can see, because I can see it on the back end, and a lot of people filled the form. So I'm not sure why you can't click it on your end. So maybe you can copy the link and put it into your chat. You can use a Google Chrome browser. You can use whatever browser that you are making use of. All right, Joshua's hand is raised. So I'm gonna make you co-host so you can ask your question. And I know there are more questions in the chat, but let's just get his question and then we can move back to the chat. Hi Joshua, please go on.
Yeah, hello. Greetings from here. I heard you say Owambe, and what popped in on my head is what's the spelling of Owambe? Is it an M or an N? But let's not go into that. That's just a joke. On a more
Alright.
serious note,
Yeah.
these courses are all starting simultaneously, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, meaning someone interested in multiple courses will just to take one now and then wait for the next cohort.
Okay, so what you can basically do, if you are interested in multiple courses, I would advise you to register for all of them. But why I'm saying this is if we're doing a discounted price of 150K now, December cohort is going to be 2 times higher. So this is what you can do. For if you're going to be taking AI automation, Gen AI for DA or Gen AI for PM, if you register 40, 40, 40 for each of those courses, you can lock it down at the discounted right now. Okay. And then you join the November cohort to take the AI automation engineer. Once you're done with that, you go into the next cohort that will be starting in December, taking in the Gen AI for DA, and then you're moving into the new year, taking in Gen AI for PM. Okay. But for you to have access to a cheaper price, for you to cheat us, for lack of a better word, it's better for you to lock in your discounts for the different programs now, and then you can start whatever course that you prefer between now and January.
All right. Very, very well understood. Thank you.
So you're making payments for how many? Let me put your name down, Joshua.
I'll start with number one, but I'll choose carefully between project manager, because I'm a chemical engineer, and then
Mm-hmm.
data analysis. Okay, so that's
Okay.
2 and 5. But then I'll start definitely with number one.
All right. So please just snapshot this, and I'm very sure my colleagues have put the information in the chat to make payment, so we can secure that discount. I don't want anyone on this call to miss out, because if you don't join these conversations, you don't get to benefit from the discount. So since you are here, please just lock it in, not before it gets filled up, and then you can proceed to make your payment. Okay, Joshua.
All right, done.
Done. Okay, fantastic. Please fill in the information in terms of your details, so we can send you access to the LMS, and you can start watching your videos.
I feel the form from this chat box. Is that the form you're talking about?
Oh no, I'm talking about the payments. Once you be able to make payment, there's another form for you.
Okay. Immediately after this call, then.
Okay. All right. So Joshua, yeah, would follow up with you as well. Thank you so much. All right. So let me move over back to the chat to see if there are any more questions. And please, if you have any questions, you can always raise your hand, and then you get access to the mic to speak, just to make sure that we're coordinated here. So going back to the chat, let me see if there are any other question. Okay, I'm confused on the exact program to. Yeah, you can book a clarity session. So I take clarity session. So even if you are a teacher, an arts person, a nurse, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure which of them to go for. Which of these programs can I go for? Please just book clarity, so we can deep dive into your current career path. I can ask you specific question, and we can arrive at the best fit for you. So Alexander, you can go ahead to book a clarity session, and we'll respond to your questions as soon as possible. Or if you want me to also respond to it, let me see. So you can guide me. I'm new to tech and I've been in sales all my life. If you're a salesperson, you work with sales data quite a lot. If you're looking for career change, there's quite a number of them. So if you want to specialize in any of these niche role, data analyst, HR analyst, business analyst, then that's the best AI platform to get into. But if you want to learn how to be a workflow specialist end to end, then AI automation is the best pathway for you. Okay, but we can also get into deeper conversations once you've booked your clarity call. Alexander, if you're still here, let me check if you're still here. I hope I've been able to clarify your question, but if you want more clarification, just let me know. Okay, So I'm still waiting on questions. Please, I feel like people should not be quiet. Just give me your questions, put them into the chat, and I'll respond to them immediately. Let's go. Let's go. If you have any questions, please drop it in the chat, and we can respond to them. So we can kickstart your new program. It is generative AI for HR analysts, generative AI for DA, or you're going for generative AI for BA or PM or the AI automation engineer. Now is literally the best time to start. Like I mentioned, this discounts, Jesus Christ, I just saw 2 payments coming. All right, thank you so much, guys. Like, if this gets locked completely filled before the end of the day, I'm so sorry, then the prices are going to revert back to normal. So please just ensure that you go ahead to make payments as soon as possible to lock in your discount. That being said, thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's session. Really appreciate you all staying right to this very point. If you have any questions at any point, please do let us know and we'll respond to them as soon as possible. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your evening, everyone. Bye, guys.